Ooh, that looks tasty.
Welcome folks to Hungry Gamers back with the first episode of the monthly menu for 2021, and for this episode I took a little bit more than a month, a little closer to 6 weeks, as I was kind of just rebooting everything as it were. And so I made no predictions back when I did the last one in December, so this one will be a little bit shorter. I'm going to tell you what 5 games I played the absolute most so far in 2021, and then the 5 games I'm most looking forward to playing in February, if I manage to do it. There's 1 or 2 in there that are real gimmies that I know 100% I'll be playing. Beyond that, I don't know. So, we'll just kind of jump right in. And as always, these are in no particular order. It's not the one I played the least to the one I played the most or anything like that. Just 5, and it's literally how they are stacked up down here right next to me. So, starting with the first one that got the most plays so far this year, we have Mouse, Cheese, Cat, Cucumber. This is a 1 to 4 player game from Fight in a Box Games that is coming to Kickstarter in just about a week or so. I played it many times on the Sovereignty app, which is a new digital gaming platform. It's pretty cool. It's out there. You can check that out. And additionally, I have the deluxe copy of it and that copy of it, and I've played a whole bunch of solo games and multiplayer games. So, Mouse, Cheese, Cat, Cucumber. Next on the list is Anachrony. I got my pledge of the Infinity Box. I'd painted some of it. I've played quite a few games of it as I've been kind of checking it out and comparing that to some other games. And it's a really popular game. I can see why. There is a ton of replay in there, kind of borrowing stuff from the future and then having to make sure you pay it back. Very, very, very clever. Definitely enjoyed my time with that. Next is one that has been on my list before, but this one kind of made a reappearance with the official Tabletop Simulator mod, so I've been able to introduce even more people to this game, and that is Merchant's Cove, which still hasn't quite delivered it. I believe it's on the boats, so I'm looking forward to it actually arriving. If you haven't heard me talk about this before, it is what I think is one of the best Euro games I think ever made. I just love it. Every different merchant that you play has its completely own asymmetric mini game, which most of them, I would argue you could make every single player play that little mini game and then you would still have a good game. But the fact that all of them are distinct and all of them are unique, I really enjoy. The solo mode's really, really strong as well. So, Merchant's Cove. Next one on the list, speaking of games that I like at multiplayer and the solo, and that is Empyreal Spells and Steam. This is a new one to me. I normally don't care about train games, but I've been hearing great buzz about this, so got a hold of it, and I have not been disappointed. My wife really likes it. I enjoy playing it competitive. I really enjoy playing it solo. The AI is pretty darn good. It's challenging, and I enjoy playing it co-op with my wife as well. Empyreal Spells and Steam, very, very cool. I'm a big fan. And then the last one that got the most play is the one of 2 prototypes on the list, because, well, I guess 1 of 3. I guess Merchant's Cove is a prototype technically still as well. Mouse Cheese is a prototype. And this is the newest one I got, and that is Rgnoarocks from Grey Fox Games. This one's coming to Kickstarter also very soon. This is the spiritual successor to Santorini, and it's a 2-player only game where it's kind of reminiscent of Go a little bit, mixed with chess. If by mixed with chess, every player is a rook, and you're just kind of moving straight lines in different directions, and then each one of those is kind of cordoning off areas of the board, and then, like in Santorini, you have these god powers that completely change the way that each player plays the game. Really, really digging it, especially for a game that is 2 players and plays in 10 to 15 minutes. Very, very cool. In fact, from what I've already told you, you could almost play the game. It's that simple. So those are the 5 most played games I had in 2021 so far. And now the 5 games I'm looking forward to trying out. Only once in all of these I've done have I actually played all 5. So we'll see what happens. So again, in no particular order, literally just where they are next to me, starting with Kingdom Rush. So we already know I really like Kingdom Rush. I enjoyed it. This is the box for the prototype of the expansion, which is actually launching on GameFound tomorrow from the time of recording this, maybe today, depending on when I edit this. But Kingdom Rush, I really like the game. I like the new stuff a lot. I'm excited for the new campaign. But mostly, I'm excited to finally get to play it with my wife, who I've been dying to try this game with. She was out of town for a long time. She's back. And hopefully in the next few weeks I get to introduce her to it. Very, very excited about it. Polyomino perfection is what that game is. Next one is another Kickstarter that I backed that has recently arrived. And, well, I got it because it's pretty. I don't even know if the game is going to be fun, but it is so pretty, and that is Canvas. It's one of these games where you take the cards, clear cards, and you stack them and you make a picture, but in this game you actually make a picture. My big issue with that mechanic in Mystic Vale when I played that was it's really hard to see what you're creating with. This one, each one layers on top of each other. So super excited to finally try that. I know it has a solo mode, so the odds are good I will check that out. Next one on my list has been on my list before, and I didn't, in fact, it's still in the shrink. I did not get to it, and I am committed to getting to it this coming month. One, because I need to review it, but two, just because it's been bugging me, and that is Sanctum from CGE. They had sent me 3 games to review, Under Falling Skies, Sulkin, and this. I've gotten to the other 2, and this one is the one that I'm waiting for. Who doesn't like Diablo? Diablo is a board game. Hey, that's what I'm talking about, so really looking forward to finally getting that one reviewed and checked out. And let me tell you, as I put it down, because it's heavy. It's a heavy box. Next one. And this is one that is no hanging fruit for me. And also another one that has been on my list in the past. I didn't get it played last time, but this time I will, and that is Valor and Villainy. So I've actually played it once. I did play it once in this past session, whatever you want to call it, and I enjoyed my time with it. The challenge with it is it's a one-verse mini game, and my wife and I don't play a ton of competitive games, but I do actually have a socially distanced, outdoor, masked up game day coming Wednesday. And we've decided this is what we're going to play. So I know it's going to happen, and I've done a couple of games by myself, playing both sides to make sure I know how to play. Got to play once with my wife, and you know what? It's fun. It is fun. Does it have legs? I don't know, but it looks pretty, and so far it seems like good dice chucking, take that fun. So looking forward to actually playing it with a large group of people. And then the last one is another one that I know I will play because I've been chomping at the bit to play this more and more, and I've played it a few times already, and that is Dwellings of Eldervale. Now this is one that almost everybody asked me why it was not even nominated for my top games of 2020, and the answer to that was I hadn't played yet. Didn't have it, didn't own it, was not here. And like Under Falling Skies, which is, oh, it's all the way up there so you can't see it. Like Under Falling Skies, it just was delivering and going out right around the time that my cutoff had happened last year. So technically, it might wind up on my list for 2021. We'll see. It's a long year. There's going to be a lot of games out. But right now, I really, really have liked it. What it's doing with some of the basic mechanics of worker placement and area control. But then the way it just subtly changes it. And when I initially played this game a couple years ago, and I hadn't played a ton of Euro games, I hadn't played a ton of worker placement games at the time, I didn't really appreciate what it's doing. But now that I've played it, played a bunch of those other games a lot, now I'm looking and saying, oh, well, that's very clever, and that's really interesting. And so I am super intrigued by this one. So, Dwellings of Eldervale, that is the 5th game that I'm really looking forward to playing in the next month or so. Obviously, I'm reviewing tons of stuff, so stuff comes in. I'm not going to play all those games, but I'm hoping I will get a chance to. So, there you have it. Thank you guys for taking a moment to check in, to see what's going on. Let me know down in the comments which one of those you are most excited to play. And if you have thoughts on the ones I played last month, what are your thoughts on those? And if anybody ever wants to play a game of Merchant's Cove on Tabletop Simulator, then just let me know down in the comments, and we'll set up a time, because I love that game. All right, everybody, thank you so much for watching. Have a wonderful, wonderful day.